Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you can see more of the Fly Route podcast. Now, the official 5 Fly starts here, and these are the picks that I'm really hot on. So I got the Bengals versus the Jets. First off, the Bengals are favored 10.5, and I'm slamming this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Yeah. The Jets are starting backup quarterback Mike White, who has played one NFL game. The Bengals,
I want you to, without looking at your stat sheet, man, name like 3 players on the Jets. You know what I mean? Like it's tough right now. It's tough.
I can't name 3 healthy players for the Jets, but I can name 3 total players.
No, I mean they're supposed to have that great D line coming in and everything, but the Bengals. And here's the thing: it's funny what happens when you have that one player that comes into your organization that makes everybody believe. And Joe Burrow, he said it last week. He's like, hey, man, you talking about the Ravens crowd noise? Like, dude, I play in the SEC. Are you serious? This isn't going to bother me at all. You know what I mean? And then that dude, like, they just had that thing on Twitter this morning about how Jamar Chase came in when he got drafted. He's like, I'm gonna break every record they have. Period. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. And confidence, like the true definition of confidence, is when a guy knows he's gonna or she's gonna do something. They might not know how they're gonna do it yet, but they know it's gonna get done. Like that dude, he doesn't care where he's playing. He doesn't care he's playing for Cincinnati. Like somebody forgot to tell him they're not supposed to be any good. I like that team a lot.
I do too. They are surprising. They're like they are arguably a top 5 team, if not just top 10 for sure right now. After that game against the Ravens, I was shocked how they kind of handled the Ravens, who had been really good all year long. All right, we're rolling down next, and I'm taking a lot of double-digit spreads, even though that's a little bit dangerous, but some of them are just too juicy. Rams versus the Texans is my second pick. The Rams are favored by 14 points. I'm still taking it. And generally, 14? I say, look, generally,
they're going to tell you the Texans surprise this week. 14 points is a lot too, man. I mean, 14 points, that's like college.
It is.
I know.
It is tough. A lot, but the Arizona covered 20 points against them last week. 2 weeks ago, the Colts covered 14.5 against them. I want to say
I like Mills, but I like Mills. Like it's one of those things. Like when you're in that situation, especially when you get thrust into it with Tyrod Taylor getting hurt immediately. But I think he's back this week, but he's probably not going to play. But when you get thrust in that situation, like midweek or like mid-game, like your playbook closes, right? And then they're like, I can't open it. Like they just can't get that playbook open, right? So you watch their games, it's like so many wide receiver screens, and they're just trying to take the pressure off because, like you see in Arizona last week, man, he might be looking over here. They got a 2x2. They got 3 guys over there, and they're like, all right, he can take those 2. Our line will slide left. We're good. He drops back and just gets hit in the back of the head because he's not thinking about it. Right. So it's like those kind of awareness things that you've got to learn. And as soon as something like that happens, like that playbook closes back up, man. And they're like, all right, hey, let's just throw that quick screen again. Get you 2. It's tough.
So you think it's partially they don't trust him enough yet?
It's not a trust. It really isn't a trust issue. That's the wrong word. It's just that you have to develop those guys. I mean, you see it all across the league with some of these young players. And the guys that have success early have a staple that they can deal with. I always go back to like Roethlisberger. He's the easiest example in the world, right? Like small school, Miami of Ohio, but he goes to the Steelers. The Steelers have like all pros everywhere over the offensive line. They got Jerome Bettis. Dude, he was only throwing the ball like 17, 18 times a game, and it was all off like play action and quick passes. Now, if you could actually recreate that, right? It's different, but you don't have fullbacks in the league anymore. Like you don't have that power run game unless you look at like, the Titans. Like most of the way that people run the ball now is different. If you went in 2 tight ends, you could actually block, and you go 2 tight ends and then run all your play action and stuff off that, you might actually have a chance of doing something special as a rookie quarterback. But all this like shotgun spread offense stuff, and there's just like defensive coordinators have too much free time on their hands to think they're not going to come up with a scheme to at least make you confused for that half second.
Okay. I will say, without going into all the stats for this game, the Texans only average 14 points a game, and the Rams average 30. Yeah, it's a little tough. It is a little tough. All right, the next one here, and this one might be me being a little bit of a homer, but I just can't help it. The 49ers play the Bears, and the 49ers are favored by 3.5. So I am taking the Bears as a dog. How do you feel about it?
They're playing at Chicago?
Playing at Chicago, yes.
I could see the Bears winning that game easily.
Yeah,
easily.
I felt the
They're not,
same
the
way.
Niners aren't the same team, man. Hey, when the Niners got, here's the worst thing the Niners have done. You talk about Trey Lance, you talk about the worst thing the Niners did in the last 2 years is they let old boy 99 walk over and play for the Colts on the D line.
Mm.
That is a hey, he was all pro last year. That kid is a problem. And they don't have that interior rush anymore. They just don't, it's not the same. And when you don't have that, like your whole defense is relying on a couple things, right? Penetration and pass rush, because you got two linebackers on the second level. Fred Warner, they're great players, but it's like they're not very big, man. So you like everything's got to go together. Where this guy's penetrating, if I'm getting off on the linebacker, that means that like the guard's getting his ass kicked. Like that stuff is, people don't think about how important that is on all three levels of the game.
Look, this is actually everything because all the numbers basically say everything that you have just said in a way more succinct way. Like the 49ers are in the bottom half of a quarter if every defensive rushing statistic, all of them in the bottom half of the league or the bottom quarter of the league. And I like this game because Chicago has learned that they are a run first and run as often as possible team right now with
Yeah.
Justin Fields. Like we're a top 3 rushing percentage team, top 6 yards per game. Like I like this a lot. A good matchup for us where we could just kind of play to our strengths. I will tell everybody that hold off on betting this game at 3.5 because there's a chance that Khalil Mack will not play, which will make the line even bigger and better for Chicago. So that's something that I'm really interested in looking at. We'll
Is
move
Quinn
on
back
down.
in? Is Quinn back this week?
Quinn should be back this week. Khalil Mack, there's a chance he might go on IR. That's how bad it is. He's dealing with the ankle and foot thing.
That's too bad. See,
Yeah.
so I didn't play with Quinn. I got to work with Quinn. I was down in Miami. He's different now. He's a different. I mean, he's like a special. He's a very, very underrated player. He's extremely. He's like one of those guys. There's a couple guys in the league where you're just like people are. It's like, oh gosh, I think he just went to the Ravens. Who's the Chargers guy, Melvin Gordon. You know what I'm talking? Not Melvin Gordon.
Went to
Oh
the
gosh, Melvin
Ravens.
Ingram. Melvin Ingram.
Melvin Ingram. Okay.
Yeah, those guys, they might not have the numbers, but people do not want to see them on Sundays. Like Melvin Ingram is one of those guys. He's never led the league in sacks. People do not want to see him. He has all kinds of problems.
New Chargers coach. His name is escaping me right now.
Brandon Staley.
Brandon Staley, he had a great quote a couple weeks back about how stats are an inefficient stat to kind of define whether or not a guy is good. Instead, you should go for like hurries and like QB hits, etc., because those are way more predictable about future performance. And like I thought that was always really big and like kind of proves why people like Robbie Quinn maybe don't get the credit that they deserve. We are moving down to another game, and I think this game is going to be exciting. Bucs versus the Saints. The Bucs are favored 5.5.
I'll take Bucs.
Oh, me too. The Saints were barely able to hold on with the Seahawks this last past week.
Yeah, the Bucs offense is just, they just got too many weapons. Gronkowski came back today, I think. They got too many weapons.
So did
I like the
Levante
Saints
David.
defense too, but I'm one of those guys who's kind of in Jameis Winston's corner, like I'm rooting for him. You know, I like the redemption story idea. I like it, but Tom Brady could win the MVP this year, man. Like he's doing that well.
Yeah, he is. I mean, like this might be like his most productive season ever. He's on pace for it. And like not even close. He's on pace for smoking the Randy Moss year right now. So like it's interesting. So yeah, Gronk, Sherman, and Levante David all came back into practice this week. So yeah, they're gonna be pretty big. And honestly, this is actually the smallest spread the Bucs have had all year outside of their game against the Rams. They've been favored by a larger margin in every
division opponents play each other different, right? Because of the familiarity. But you got to look like Bucs secondary is decimated. You know they got Sherman coming back, but it's like the Seattle game. You know, I think they were saying it on TV the whole night. Like, who's Jameis Winston going to throw it to if Kamara's not in? Like, where's the ball going? It's just you don't have that rapport with those guys. I don't know what the deal is. Like, I know Mike Thomas isn't back yet, but maybe he comes back this week. But gosh, it just feels like they can't take the top off they can't take the top off the coverage. They just have problems.
Yeah, they seem like 50 to 60% of their offense is just all Alvin Kamara.
And I think the left guard just got hurt, which I mean he's an above average player, you know. So that's problems too, you know. When you think about you got Sue and you got Vita Vale inside.
All right, this last one is a Sunday night game. The Cowboys are playing the Vikings, And the Cowboys are only favored by 2 points.
Cowboys all day.
Yeah. I was shocked this spread was this small. I know the Vikings are at home and everything, but the Dallas is 6-0 against the spread this year.
Dallas can score points in a hurry, and like they got guys that like Diggs is just showing out, right? That's gonna be a fun matchup, by the way.
Yeah.
But you kind of look at it, and the Vikings always are better. Like I don't ever give the Vikings credit because of the Vikings, but like they're actually better than I think I give them credit for. But having said that, man, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine Dallas just kind of feel like they're on a roll. They're kind of figuring themselves out on defense a little bit more, and they have so much confidence on offense right now. I think most people are healthy. Generally, I think they might even get back Collins. I know they're going to lift that suspension this week, so he might play. And now that offensive line's even better. It's like they're rolling right now.
Yeah, honestly, this is going to be an interesting one for me because Dallas has the best offense in the league, and defense has been Minnesota's Achilles heel all year, which is crazy because Mike Zimmer is supposed to kind of be the defensive guy, but their offense is all they have right now. All right, so that concludes the 5-5. So I want to know what y'all think. If you all will follow on, we went 3-2 the last couple weeks, 4-1 the ones before that. So we are pretty hot right now, and it sounds like you're feeling most of the picks I got here so far.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on all of them. Yep.
All right. Fantastic. Let's keep it moving.